An elderly woman in Luzerne County lost a large part of her life savings after falling victim to an online scam. It used a fake bank alert and a Bitcoin ATM in Wilkes-Barre. City police say crimes like these are skyrocketing in the area, especially during the holiday season. Action 16 investigates why her family says multiple systems failed to protect her and why the police say these scams are only getting worse. A single pop-up, that's all it took. A flash warning on an elderly Wilkes-Barre woman's home computer claiming her bank account had been hacked. A number popped up and she dialed it immediately. What she didn't know then was that every word she heard after was part of a carefully scripted scam. Her daughters, who don't want their mother identified, say the scammers were terrifyingly convincing.
She has to withdraw money because her bank's account is being hacked. A little further digging, we find out that she already withdrew $25,000.
The fake bank employee walked her through the next steps to go to her credit union, withdraw $25,000 in cash. And so she did exactly that. She walked into Cross Valley Federal Credit Union on Spring Street, withdrew $25,000 from her life savings, and then take it to a Bitcoin ATM to protect her funds. The daughters say the scammers stayed on the phone with her the entire time, coaching her through it.
Looking at the mom's phone logs and call history and bank receipts and everything, we determined that she was on the phone for about 6.5 hours.
Her daughters say she was able to obtain that money easily.
There are places that have policies, and they have none. The only thing they do is just question. You know, they want to know the reason why.
If a 79-year-old woman is shaking, withdrawing, a large amount of cash, that should be a red flag.
From there, she drove to the Turkey Hill on Hazel Street in Wilkes-Barre. The victim stood at a Bitcoin ATM, feeding in her money, bill by bill, until all of it was gone. The family said not a single customer or employee intervened.
She stood there for 1 hour and 4 minutes depositing. It turned out to be 320 bills. A total of $24,900. It wouldn't take one of the bills. And no one saw anything odd.
Wilkes-Barre City Police are now investigating. They say cases just like this are becoming almost impossible to keep up with.
A lot of scams, a lot of fraud. We're seeing probably a 30 to 45% increase over last year.
AI and technology only enhancing the deception of these scams, making it easier for people to fall victim and harder for detectives to track down the person on the other side.
And that makes it virtually impossible to track them down. One of the other things we're seeing starting to increase a little bit are Bitcoin scams, and that is, once that money's gone, it's pretty much gone.
Pennsylvania's Attorney General Dave Sunday has been sounding the alarm as well.
I think it's really, really important for seniors or anyone that thinks they're getting scammed to stop, to slow down. There's no need to rush through any of these situations. No one that is legitimate will ever ask someone to pay with Bitcoin. It just isn't going to happen.
The AG says his office is pouring resources into expanding protections for older Pennsylvanians, with a focus on deterring financial theft.
We are tripling our efforts to get out there and to do everything we can to educate seniors on how to protect themselves. That's super important because oftentimes once that money's gone, it's next to impossible to get it back.
But for this family, awareness came too late.
We thought we had her knowledgeable on, if you get this, do not act on it. Do not, because it's not the first time that there was a weird pop-up on her computer. So we thought we had it covered, and you just have to, it has to, I think, be a continual conversation.
But the daughters feel the responsibility shouldn't fall solely on one person. They contacted the credit union, the parent company of Turkey Hill, and even the operators of the Bitcoin ATM. They tell us their responses were frustrating.
Because for a bank to tell me that they have no right to withhold or delay the withdrawal is a lie. They have every right to. In fact, they have a responsibility.
The daughters believe there should be more protections, especially for older adults who may not recognize the signs of a scam. While some banks do flag unusual transactions, consumer advocates say there are no mandatory statewide rules requiring banks to step in or question large withdrawals. Cross Valley Federal Credit Union explained in a statement, quote, "Our employees receive ongoing training to recognize red flags associated with common scams, including cryptocurrency, impersonation fraud, and other fake opportunities. When unusual withdrawal activity is identified, staff are trained to engage members in conversation, ask proper questions, and provide education on current scam trends, and encourage additional verification whenever appropriate." And when it comes to Bitcoin ATMs, regulations vary widely and oversight is minimal. We've reached out to Turkey Hill's parent company and it declined to comment.
The other odd thing about the machines is they sell Bitcoin at a 40% markup, which just, what are they doing in a Turkey Hill selling Bitcoin at 165K, not 115?
But amid the loss, a small glimmer of hope found buried within their homeowner's insurance. A clause covered certain types of financial fraud, allowing them to recoup some of that lost money. Now this family is using their story as a cautionary tale.
My advice would be do your research. Ensure you know who you're talking to. Microsoft will never call you, period.
As scammers continue to manipulate anyone they can through trust, through technology, and even through a single pop-up.